Very good morning, Major Shah. Welcome to the broadcast. Previously we were seeing that fresh batches of Yatris were fueled with energy. They were enthusiastic to go despite knowing that there has been a tragedy that has taken place. Around 15 people were killed yesterday and many are missing. How do you see the situation in terms of the people's faith and of course with the administration's decision to continue with the Yatra?
This only means that the show must go on, as they say, and their spirits are alive, and that is the kind of zeal and enthusiasm and the interest and the passion that they should be having, and I really salute them and commend them, and that is the spirit. Right. Now they say never give up, don't give up. As Khalil Gibran, in one of his poems, he had written about fear, and Khalil Gibran wrote, it is said that before entering the sea, the river trembles with fear. She looks back at the path she has traveled across the peaks of the mountains, along winding roads, crossing forests and villages. And in front of it, she sees an ocean so vast that to enter seems nothing more but to disappear forever. But there is no other way. The river cannot go back. Nobody can go back. To go back is impossible in existence. The river now has to take the risk of entering the ocean, because it is now that fear will disappear. And the river will know it's not about disappearing into the ocean. It is about becoming the ocean. Right? So now I think God is there with us, God is there with the pilgrims, God is there everywhere. So God will look after them. And it's not just having faith in the God and the Almighty only, because God helps those who help themselves. The administration has done their work, their rescue operations on, and I have a feeling that yes, this is a national calamity. One can't really have much control over it, but yes, we can do our disaster management, we can plan, we can do our contingency planning. The citizens, the pilgrims can do, but I also believe one small thing, that the pilgrims who are going there should actually go through a small capsule. It can be a workshop, it can be a basic training, it can be that when such a thing, if at all such a calamity happens, how do they react to that, apart from only relying on the National Disaster Management Committee?
All right, Major Shah. As you rightly said, the show must go on. And, talk us about these people, the motivation in the ITBP, the police there. They are also doing their job day and night. Of course, the healthcare department has also now cancelled the leaves and of the staff. So everybody is trying their best to be it the rescue or to also take ahead this Yatra.
Firstly, I commend the efforts of the ITBP, the Indo-Tibetan Border Police, the NDRF, the National Disaster Management Force, and the SDRF. All of them, all the forces have actually risked their lives. They have been totally unmindful of their own personal safety. They have gone beyond the call of duty, and they have done their bit in trying to rescue everyone else. And it's not easy. Rescue operations are not easy at all. And in fact, we have been part of them, so we can tell you, there's a lot of panic, there's a lot of chaos. And one small advice to my friends whose relatives are there at the Yatra and they are not being able to communicate with them. The channel has given you the helpline numbers. You please make use of those numbers. Secondly, they are prepaid SIM cards. Those who use prepaid SIM cards, they should be knowing that those prepaid SIM cards do not work in up north, in Jammu and Kashmir and that side.
Yes,
so do not
exactly.
worry, do not panic. And I'm sure your loved and dear ones are all safe. Now coming back to the rescue operations, it isn't easy, but now when a person is stuck in a situation where he can either go forward because of the calamity, he cannot go behind, he cannot be rescued on the spot. Now what does that person do? Well, this question must be arising in a lot of people's minds if ever in future any of us get stuck in that situation. In that situation, be patient, don't lose your cool. Just wait for the storm, for whatever the calamity is there to calm down, to cool down, because this too shall pass. Nothing stays on, it all passes by. And once it passes by, you can make your efforts, and I'm sure the rescue team will reach you. Then you can move forward or behind. Well, instead of going, because now you have to take a call. You have come so far, and you cannot go back. So now what do? yes, they would be, because they are ways and means after the storm is over. I mean, there have been situations where people have been very helpless, and when they know that, oh God, people are stuck over there, we have to rescue them, but because it's getting dark, because of the weather conditions, because of national calamity, we cannot really go there. And one such incident I'm reminded by, in 1971, well, I wasn't born that time, but my father had fought the 1971 Indo-Pak War. He was stationed in Longewala. That time, our brave hearts of the Punjab regiment were stuck in Longewala. They were facing an enemy brigade, just one company. And that time, the Air Force was to be called to bombard the enemy, but we had the Hunter Air Force pilot aircraft. The Hunter aircraft could not take off at night, so they had to wait the entire night, the longest night, and by the first ray of the sun in the morning, they took off and they bombarded the enemy tanks. And that's how our brave hearts also, apart from fighting bravely, they were rescued. It was a combined operation. But now, the entire agony, the entire pain that you go through when you are unable to actually do something, despite being capable, despite being equipped to actually do it. Now, that is a problem where we are actually trained, and that's why I advocate training for everyone over there to first maintain the calm, the composure, to be cool, and to think with a level head. And whatever the first thought comes to your mind is the right thought in those situations. When we think too much, we end up taxing our brains and we end up getting stressed. I'll give you I'll quickly end up with a small example of a snake bite. When a snake bites us, many of the snakes are not poisonous. I don't know how many people know this. But we die out of a heart attack, out of panic, or out of, even if it's venomous, we die by the rate of a heartbeat. The blood circulates faster and the venom spreads. Similarly, in a situation like this, please do not panic. And I commend the pilgrims over there who say their spirits have been undeterred. Don't quit when the night is lowest, don't quit when the tide is lowest, for it's just about to turn. Don't quit over doubts and questions, for there's something you may learn. Don't quit when the night is darkest, for there's just a moment until dawn. Don't quit when you've run the furthest, for the race is almost won. Don't quit when the hill is steepest, for your goal is almost nigh. Don't quit, for you're not a failure unless and until you fail to try. So, I am sure, I'm certain that God is there with you all, God is there with us, and God will look after us.
Of course, very well motivating there, Major Shah. Major Shah, I come to you at this point of time. We would see ahead that how can the situation would have been avoided. Do you think that there was some sort of a lag from the administration, be it the weather department, despite knowing that there could have been a possible cloud burst, they allowed this Yatara to proceed?
Firstly, I will not call it a lapse only, but they have only catered to the sentiments of the people and the emotions, yes. But at the same time, it's better to be safe to be sorry. Now when they have given the option, okay, we'll allow the Yatra to proceed, and the spirits of the people are undeterred, and it's up to them, it's up to their choice. Now God helps those who help themselves. If you cannot rely completely on the government, that the government will take care of us and they will closing their eyes. They also have to be alert at the same time. So in a way, yes, I would not deny the fact that there is always room for improvement for everyone in every field possible. You can always be better, you can always make better arrangements. There is no end to it. And yes, I feel better things could have been done, a lot many things. But a lot depends on the normal people as well, on the pilgrim, on the public, common people like you and me. A lot depends on us. If we do not really listen to them, we insist. And of course, I mean, people have to cater for our sentiments as well. So yes, but yes, I will end by saying there is always a room for a lot of improvement in every sphere.
Right, definitely. As we were discussing how the NDRF and the ITBP are, of course, stationed and they are carrying out rescue operation. We are also getting to know that Indian Air Force's Mi-17 helicopters have also taken off from Srinagar to join the rescue operations at Amarnath cave site. The aircraft have been on standby since morning but could not take off due to bad weather in Srinagar and adjoining areas. But now they are also reaching the location for help of people. What do you have to say on this, sir?
Was always, all the time, because each time, be it in the Uttarakhand, be it anywhere, the Air Force has always timely come to the rescue and they have bailed everyone out. And when Mi-17 helicopters take off, that's the time that's good news, which means people who are stuck, who are stranded, that they need not worry. They would be soon in very, very safe hands. And our forces are the best forces in the world. Having served there, I am not being biased. I'm telling you a fact which really needs to be stated. They are there for not just fighting, they will fight the enemy till the last breath, no doubt. They will look after the lives of our fellow countrymen. They will be for the rescues. But then the question is, when our forces is there for every single person, we expect the same kind of respect again for the forces that should be given, and which people like you certainly they give. There's no doubt about that. But I feel that the forces, when the moment you take the defense forces name, not just army, not just navy, not just air force, the defense forces combined, the Indian armed forces, that calls for good news. That means everyone is soon going to be in safe hands. They would be rescued back home very, very safely.
All right, Major Shah, I come back to you. Let's discuss further. How can how can the administration and of course people avoid certain situations, because natural calamity comes at any given point of time. We have no control on it. But again I ask you, is it just about the faith, or is it also about the lives of the people that matter?
Riyanka, very good question by you, and through your question I'm sure I'll be able to answer a lot of minds who would be having the similar question in the mind. Now, yes, it's not just about the faith, it's about the question of the lives that matter. Every life matters, in fact, and I'm sure the people who would have taken the decision to let the Yatara go ahead. Now see, about a week back, we had a very bad landslide in Manipur, where we had heavy casualties on an army camp, a territorial army battalion of the Gurkha Rifles, the Gurkha Regiment. Now, the thing is, we have to learn from what we have, or what mistakes we did, or what we were not able to react to. Because national calamity can come anywhere, anytime, anyhow. We do not really know it, when it will come, how it will come. Aafat kabhi bhi aa sakti hai sir ke upar, so we have to be ready for that. Now, unfortunately, in our country, disaster management is not taken very, very seriously. It's like only when in the case of fire, we start worrying about, oh, aag lag gayi, let's go and do this, let's do that. Prevention is always better than cure. How many people know how to react in such a situation? How many people? Even when they get rescued. But imagine the plight in a cold climate, with cold water sticking to your body, chilling water. There is danger of getting hypothermia. There is the danger of falling sick. And what if you are rescued from that situation, but you get into trouble health-wise because of some other situation leading from there? Then what? Then the rescue efforts of the forces also go in vain, and you also get in trouble. So we have to be educated, we have to be well aware about the surroundings, about the environment, about what we are going in for. And yes, it's not about faith, it's about looking after the lives of the people, which I am sure, I don't want to be critical to anyone, I'm sure everyone would have catered to that at the end of the day.
Major Shah, of course, it's also very emotional to see how the army and the people have now all come together. We got to know that Indian army troops created drinking water facilities for all the pilgrims near the area. So everyone has joined their hands, well motivated, well enthusiastic for this particular yatra, and they're not afraid of the tragedy, of course, moving ahead. And this is what, as you rightly mentioned, is the motivation that people have in themselves.
Absolutely, you're bang on there, Riyanka. This is the kind of motivation, and if we continue with that kind of motivation and not panicking and not fearing and not, yes, national calamity, it can strike anywhere, anyhow. People would be the people responsible for the evacuations, for the bandobast, for the administration. They would look after, they would do their bit. Nobody would want to shy away from it, of course. But then, as I said, it is our responsibility as well as mature, responsible citizens of India to ensure not just our personal safety but also our neighbors' personal safety. And I believe the society will not change unless we change our own selves. So the change starts from here, from within. The journey, as I say, the journey to 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And the spirits are undeterred. And the journey toward the pilgrimage has started, yes. The journey towards their own personal safety and the neighbor's safety also should start from there.
And Major Shah, of course, the top dignitaries of the army are also reaching the area. We're getting to know this breaking news coming in is that Lieutenant General A.S. Ojla, Chinnar Corps commander, has reached Amarnath cave to review the situation. So, of course, be it the Prime Minister, the Home Minister, who have taken stock of the situation, they have extended all relief, and now the top officials of the army are also reaching this area. So, of course, this is no doubt another bang-on motivation for the people.
Absolutely, you know, when the top brass comes, automatically things they do fall in place, but without them coming also, our troops, our forces are doing a very, very good job. But I'll give you a small instance over here, Venka. You know, it was the year 2003, it was the month of October, and I was posted at the line of control in the Indo-Pak border, which was 30 meters away from the Pakistani post. And one of the jawans in the nearby post was shot. And when he was shot, the commanding officer, we were trying to evacuate him and such things, and the commanding officer of that particular battalion, of that particular post, was coming over to see what the situation on ground is. And just then, the word of mouth went around. The CO is here, the commanding officer is here. And you don't believe it, Priyanka. It was, you may call it a miracle, but it really did happen. I saw it with my own eyes. The man, the soldier who was shot grievously, who couldn't sit, who couldn't move, stood up on his own 2 feet, saluted the commanding officer with a crisp salute and said, "Jai Hind Sahab." Now that was the morale of the soldier who saw that the top brass is coming there. Similarly, when the top brass arrives there for emotional support, it speaks great volumes and it gives a lot of moral courage, moral strength to a lot of people over there who would be losing hope.
All right, Major Shah, thank you for your words there, your motivation, and of course the discussion we had right now.